Thank you, Devison. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everybody, for showing up this morning. Beautiful community. I need to put on some special glasses this morning. They do, don't they? Wow. All these beautiful faces of God this morning. I can see clearly now. Yeah. I can see clearly. Beautiful divine expressions of the infinite face of God. The face of love. Wow. I wish you could see you from where I am. Breathe it in. Breathe in the fullness and the richness of all that you are this morning. Knowing that you are chosen to be here, not just here today, but here on planet Earth at this point in time. The eyes of love. This is what love would do. Love would put on these glasses because love would see with crystal clarity what is truly in front of it, behind it, around it, above it, below it. That's what love would do. Jim, thank you for what you shared this morning. The absence of judgment. Love is many things. And what I wanted to offer with what you shared, when you said knock it off, I want to add a little thing to that. Knock it off, but with compassion. With compassion for yourself. Because we are spiritual beings having that beautiful human experience, are we not? You know, I've had the joy and pleasure and honor to speak here a few times the last few Sundays. And it's almost like my talk today is a culmination. I didn't realize it almost has turned into a series, if you think about it. And what a wonderful way to kind of seal this in today with love. You know, I talked about answering the call a few weeks ago, what that means, why we're here, what we're here to do, if we let it go to voicemail, if we actually answer when the universe is calling. Remember that one? And last time, 2 weeks ago, I talked about peace. Peace, be still, and know that I am. Because in the world out there right now, and in your world within you, chances are, if we're judging, and we're doing all those human things we do, we all could use a little more peace. A lot more peace. And that peace that passes all understanding. And so today, I thought, let's bring in some love. Let's have a love in. Let's all get our heart glasses, right? And pull them out, but put them on. I know oftentimes, and I used to think about my dad when I was younger and even into teenage and such, and my mom would fuss at him because he would leave his readers somewhere. I never really understood that, but boy, oh boy, do I understand it now. I have several pair, right? Thank you, God, for abundance of readers. But think about it for a moment. Isn't that what we need to do sometimes, is to take our glasses, if you will, and maybe instead of going to the eye doctor, we need to go to the divine doctor and say, you know what, I think I need my prescription adjusted. I think perhaps I need a new pair. I don't know about trifocals, or maybe they have quadfocals now, I don't really know. Maybe just one pair like these heart glasses that can truly see what it is that's being revealed to me without the cloudiness, without my stuff getting in the way. Imagine that. So the next time you put on, I'm going to set these right here. The next time, how many of you in here do wear glasses or readers? Oh. For those of you who don't, go buy a pair of readers. Okay? Use them as a prop for your spiritual practice, okay? And then you can say, okay, Jeanie, I've got my glasses on, which I'm going to do right now. So I can kind of jump in here this morning and touch on a few things that I was really excited about doing this talk today for many reasons. I always like talking about love. That's kind of a cool thing. But sometimes love can be kind of scary, can it not? And this morning what I'm talking about is really not so much the ego-based love. I'm talking about the agape love. Has everybody heard the word agape before? And that actually originates from the Greek origin meaning charity. It's about benevolence. It's about goodwill. So when I think of the agape love, it's for all creatures great and small, everything, everyone, at all times, even and especially myself. Whenever I speak about self-love, I can always feel a little uncomfortable out there because that's not something that we have really been taught. We hear a lot about it, more so now, but you have to be really clear what that really means and what that's about. I think is it Thich Nhat Hanh, I can't remember, it might be him, or Jack Kornfield, I can't recall. It's like compassion. If your compassion does not include you, your compassion is incomplete. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love one another as I have loved you. Right? How can I love you and see all of you clearly if I am not having my own love if you will, in here? If I am not able to be gentle with myself and kind with myself, and take that part of me that is that humanness, that little child, and say, come on, honey, I've got you. I've got your hand. Here, let's walk together. Those parts of me, probably, that are calling out for that love to feel what? Safe. Isn't that a lot of what's going on in the world out there? We don't feel safe anymore, do we? Did we ever feel safe? I don't know. That's something that only you know. And you really have to explore what you mean by the word safe when you say it. I remember one time years ago, I think I was listening to somebody give a talk, and they were talking about a kid expressing love and feeling safe. And the child, and some of you may have heard this, but the child was saying, when I feel safe in your mouth. When I am safe in your mouth. The words that you speak, when you speak of me, when you speak of another, when you speak of yourself, are you safe in your own mouth? Don Miguel Ruiz, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of the 4 agreements. To be impeccable with your word. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Those are the 3 gates. So that what passes through from you out into the world, how is it going out there? Remember last couple weeks ago I talked about we're always broadcasting something, right? We're energy beings in this amazing body created by this infinite intelligence. We're always broadcasting something. What is your frequency? What is your energy signature? Is it more about love? Or is it more about fear? I wasn't even going to say hate, because hate is not really the contrast of love. It's fear. And in this teaching, that's pretty much what we've been taught. But pretty much in the world out there, that's what you hear. So we can work with that model. So oftentimes when we are judging, and I'll use that, or we're criticizing, or we're pointing fingers, or we're looking at something that's happening in the world out there, or a person out there is acting in a certain way, and we start to point that finger or spew out things that are really out of alignment with who we are, where is that coming from? What would love do there? What would love do here? Say somebody walked in the door right now, and this is for each of you in your own personal journey. You could maybe pick a particular person or something that would walk in that door right now and come up here with me. And I'm going to say for all of you, it's going to be someone that would trigger you a little bit. Okay, so right now in your mind, think of somebody that might trigger you a little bit. Maybe you have nobody that would trigger you a little bit. If you do, then we need to have you up here to talk to us this morning, to say, how is that possible? But you can get to a better place and a higher place and an even higher place, and allow yourself to begin to align with that energy more often than not, with that agape love. So that, like last time I spoke about, that you can embody that. I talked about embodying peace, remember? So I said everywhere you go, you are that presence. It's the same thing with love. So that wherever you go, you're beaming that out, so that when you encounter a person or a thing, a situation, or maybe yourself, a shadow part of you, you can go, oh, what would love do here? How do I hold myself in a place of compassion, of forgiveness? If I'm carrying around resentment and bitterness for something, whether it was yesterday or a lifetime ago, I'm making a choice to do that, whether I'm doing it consciously or not. It's still taking up space that is not available for me to be that wide open, agape love person, right? And you know what's so beautiful about all of this is the journey, because we're not always going to be able to do that. And when we're not, what do you think is perhaps happening in that moment? Perhaps you are being called to say, what is getting in the way of me loving myself as God loves me? What is getting in the way? Am I willing to look at that, or is it too doggone scary for me to go there? Or if I forgive myself, you know what? I might actually feel really good. And maybe I don't think or believe I'm deserving enough to feel good. Try that one on. Maybe, perhaps somehow along the way, I've convinced myself that I'm just here to hold myself hostage. And I've got all the reasons to do it, We can find all the evidence in the world we want to support anything it is that we choose to believe. Yeah? Absolutely we can. Aren't we just amazing? I mean, we're just like, wow. Say, God, when you created us, you had no idea what you were getting into, did you? Wow. Okay. How many of you are familiar with Thich Nhat Hanh? Vietnamese, Buddhist, beautiful, beautiful man, many, many things. Well, I want to share a reading with you this morning, and it's a very powerful reading. So I invite you, if you need to close your eyes to listen to it, to really take it in. And we're going to play around with this a little bit. Actually, we're going to dive into it a little bit, because today is What would love do here? How does love show up? All right. And I already mentioned sort of in my prelude here about the things that can get in the way. But when you really understand interconnectedness and oneness, then the heart glasses will find you, because you're going to draw that clarity and vision to you. Okay, this is called Please Call Me by My True Names. Has anybody here ever heard this before? Okay, that's great. This is about many things, but just be with this. Don't say that I will depart tomorrow. Even today, I am still arriving. Look deeply. Every second, I am arriving to be a bud on a spring branch, to be a tiny bird with still fragile wings, learning to sing in my new nest, to be a caterpillar in the heart of a flower, to be a jewel hiding itself in a stone. I still arrive in order to laugh and to cry, to fear and to hope. The rhythm of my heart is the birth and death of all that is alive. I am the mayfly metamorphosing on the surface of the river. I am the bird that swoops down to swallow the mayfly. I am the frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond. And I am the grass snake that silently feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. And I am the arms merchant selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl, refugee on a small boat, who throws herself into the ocean after being raped by a sea pirate. And I am the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. I am a member of the Politburo with plenty of power in my hands. And I am the man who has to pay his debt of blood to my people dying slowly in a forced labor camp. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom all over the earth. My pain is like a river of tears, so vast it fills the 4 oceans. Please call me by my true names, so I can hear all my cries and my laughter at once, so I can see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my true names, so I can wake up. And so the door of my heart can be left open, the door of compassion. Breathe that in. Feel into that. We are all one. And when you truly recognize our shared humanity, no matter what is going on inside me, triggered by the world out there, whatever it is, when I recognize that what I do to you, I do to me, wow. You feel that earthquake? Feel the earth move under your feet? To recognize that holy shift that happens. Like the tectonic plates when there's an earthquake. The same thing happens within you. There's a shift of those plates, of those beliefs that are so anchored within you that it's time to shake them up, to have a crack so the light can get through. And you can truly see through the eyes of compassion more clearly than you ever have before. That's a higher vision. That's the agape love. That's God's vision. That's divine vision with glasses and a vision that's prescribed by what? By the infinite one. By the almighty God of your understanding. We are everything and everyone that we hate, and we are everything and everyone that we love. There is no difference in agape love. So when we say we are ready to step into a knowing of what would love do here, fasten your seatbelt. Because you will begin to open to a world and an experience unlike anything you have ever witnessed before. And it can feel kind of scary. I'm feeling some interesting energy here now. Like, Jeanie, I think I'm shaking in my chair. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Breathe. Just breathe. Like in the meditation. Let God breathe you right now. And know that you are safe. You are safe. To anchor into the absolute, to where you can truly know and feel that all is so very well. To where you find yourself not even needing to ask the question anymore. What would love do here? Love already knows what love would do. So when you recognize that you are truly that divine essence and that expression, and you really begin to have the higher understanding that you are that love, again, everything changes. It transforms. And you transcend so that you can imagine yourself. Say you're hiking. I don't know how many people enjoy, well, you're in the mountains, so obviously you must enjoy the mountains. So imagine that you could use this as a great metaphor since you live up here. I am going to go to the mountaintop, and I'm going to allow myself to see beyond what is here in this vision that is so limited. The expansiveness, the unlimited view from that higher perspective that's going to offer you another way. Love is a way. Imagine each and every one of you today, if you said, you know what, there's one thing I maybe need to take a look at after listening to Jeanie talk this morning. And I'm willing to do that because I truly want to see the way God sees that situation or that person or that thing within me that I have had to turn away from or run from. So I can truly be for something. Let what I'm saying this morning be the vision that pulls you forward rather than pushes you against something. What is Mother Teresa? I won't march against war, but I will march for peace. It's the same thing. I will take a stand for love. I will be an advocate for love. We already know where thought goes, energy flows, yes? We all know that. I don't care if you call it whatever principle or the law of attraction, it doesn't. It's universal law. So where my thought goes, that's where my energy is going to flow. So if I say, this is what I'm for, rather than I hate that, I'm against it, oh, there it goes again, what are you going to be creating? So when you're co-creating, even as a community here, and even what Jim brought up earlier regarding triangulation, when I've spoken with you the last couple of weeks, I've also said the more present you are, you're going to notice before something even comes out of your mouth. You're going to feel it in your heart. Your body is going to let you know, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? As I said earlier. Is it truly aligned with your purpose, with a higher purpose? What would love do here? Why do I need to say what I need to say? Sometimes I learn the most by simply being silent. Cultivating an art of truly being a compassionate listener is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and another. That's what love would do here. I like Mahatma Gandhi's quote, in a gentle way, you can shake the world. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. There doesn't have to be the pushing and the shoving and all of that. Listen to that inner guidance for you and what you are being called to do and how you are being called to do it. Understanding someone's suffering is the best gift you can give another person. Understanding is love's other name. How can you love without understanding? And it's not trying to figure out or give somebody a solution to something. It is simply being present. What would love do here? Love would simply what? Listen. With kindness and compassion. Maya Angelou, love recognizes no barriers. It jumps hurdles, leaps fences, penetrates walls to arrive at its destination full of hope. Wow. I'm thinking love has been working out. If it can do all that, sounds like super love, right? Jumping hurdles and leaping fences and tall buildings in a single bound, right? Absolutely. To love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. Oscar Wilde. Maybe it's time you took yourself out on a date and got to know yourself better. To look into your own heart. Would you go out with yourself on a date? Nobody's moving their head at all. All righty. You take a chance? Okay, yay! All right, good job. Thank you. Appreciate that. Take a chance, right? Because, love is risky, right? So, think about it for a moment. Feel into that. What's that? Go backpacking. There you go. There you go. Whatever that looks like for you, what I'm trying to say this morning is when you get to know you, when you get to know you and you have that understanding for yourself, then when you are in the world out there, showing up as love and compassion and a higher vibration becomes your default. You've been creating new grooves. We'll talk about neuroplasticity. Won't get into all of that, but I know some of you are familiar with that, to where whatever the ingrained patterns and habits are that we have, that we can change them. And we can get a different kind of groovy, right? We can be grooving on love. And we can create a very different terrain up here in the aspects of our brain that will process experiences differently. It'll run through a different, think of your subconscious like your operating system, if you will. And within that operating system, I always like to remind people that our BS gets in the way, and that's our belief system. Because that BS can get in the way because we're wondering, why are things not working properly? Why are they not flowing? Something is just jammed up in there, or like a computer would do, it would just crash, right? So when we have old beliefs and patterns and habits that are getting in the way of that flow of love, maybe it's a different kind of way to feel like you've got a virus. And there's a lot of fear now about a virus that's out there. But what I'm going to invite you to do is to see it differently. A lot of things that are happening in the world out there, to me, are just representations of what's going on within us, around us. It's always an opportunity to look at it differently. And again, to bring in that reminder of what love would do here rather than getting very fearful. Yes, be aware. Awareness is what I would say to you. Be aware of what's going. How do you take care of yourself? Whether it's a virus out there or a situation. If you really hear what I'm saying this morning, again, it's bringing you back to you. It's bringing you back to you, and you being a steward of your own self-care and learning how to do that so that you are equipped, prepared, ready. Emergency preparedness, we don't even have to call it emergency. We can call it life preparedness. That you love and care enough about yourself because you recognize that you came here to do amazing things as is creative being. And that you say, wow, you know what? I am going to take myself out on a date, and I'm going to be in conversation with me so I can truly get to know. We talk to ourselves all the time already, right? I know. When we start answering back, that's when we got to be very, very aware of how we're responding to ourselves. Because how we are with us is how we're going to be in the world out there. 1 Corinthians 16:14, let all you do be done in love. And some of you might appreciate this because I shared shopping for that peace word back from the holidays, and we were laughing about that. I was so thrilled the other day. I wasn't looking for anything, but I saw this coffee cup, and you know what was on it? 1 Corinthians 16:14. I went, I'm buying that cup. I didn't bring it to show you, but I've been drinking out of it. Let all you do be done in love. So what cup are you drinking from? How are you filling yourself up? So that you can be nourished, hydrated, to show up as love in every single moment. I'll just read another thing for you. This is as I get ready to close this morning. This is basically about what I've been talking about, seeing our own goodness. This is about seeing our own goodness. My beloved child, this was a contemporary Indian master, Bapuji, that wrote this. My beloved child, break your heart no longer. Each time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on the love which is the wellspring of your vitality. The time has come, your time, to live, to love, to celebrate, and to see the goodness that you are. Let no one, no thing, no idea or ideal obstruct you. If one comes in the name of truth, forgive it for its unknowing. Really take that in. Remember, I spoke last time about we're all living from the consciousness that we embody. We're all doing the best we can. if one comes, even in the name of truth, forgive it for its unknowing. That's basically what I'm saying. Even yourself, forgive yourself for simply being unconscious or falling asleep in a moment when, oh, geez, I didn't show up as love. Now I'm going to go beat myself up for a while. That's what we do. To silence that inner critic, and even more than silencing the inner critic, is to have a conversation with the inner critic. Get to know the inner critic. Where is it coming from? What's that about? Can you embrace it and offer it the love that it's calling for? You can do this. It's in your nature. Do not fight. Let go and breathe into the goodness that you are, into the godness that you are. Know thyself. Pay attention to what is impeding the flow of love within you and as you. What would love do here? Love would love you even more. It would love you inside and out. All the stuff that sometimes we deem unlovable. As I read to you the Thich Nhat Hanh writing earlier, we are everything and anything. To live from love, not fear, on a practical level, is to shift from a goal of protecting our ego, of being right, winning the argument, being not to blame, and move into actually being kind, loving in our actions. It is to be willing to stop proving, I want to just finish with this. It is to be willing to stop proving that you're a good person. Do you try to do that sometimes, try to prove to yourself or another that you're a good person, whatever that means to you? Okay? And actually be that person. You are already it. So it's not about adding more to you. It's really letting go of all the stuff that's getting in the way of love flowing. To be courageous enough to open your heart and be love when even those parts of you are screaming in fear. So what would love do? Love would laugh. Love would lighten up. Love would say, hey, remember me? I am you. And I'm you and you and you. And instead of me, it could be we. How about a new word? How about mwe? From me to we. Mwe. M-W-E. Mwe. What would love do here? Mwe. Got it? All right, you've got a new word to add to your vocabulary. Take a breath. Put on your glasses. By the way, if you'd like to come up here and try these on, you're more than welcome. I'd be happy to take a picture with those of you who would like to have a picture taken with the Love Jeanie. Hey, I like that. The Love Jeanie, that's it. Indeed. When I first got these glasses, I will say it was difficult for me to even begin to think, much less speak, what I'm saying to you. I kind of just thought of it as a joke because my journey has certainly not been about this. But it has been for a while now, and it feels so much better. Loving myself, loving ourselves is so challenging, I know. But please, Donna, Jean, Lynn and Ron, Elaine, Sylvia and Lynn, and Jim. Getting to know everybody's names. Louise and Leroy. Oh, Dan. Oh, Dan, thank you for being here today. It was a delight to see you walk in. Annie and Devison and Sandy. We're all known by many names, but one name. Love. I invite you right now just to place your hands on your heart if you feel so led. Breathe in the love that you are. The love that so desires to flow through and as you and express freely and fully, unencumbered. Just breathe it in. What would love do here? Love would love. I am the love that I seek. It is already within me. And this morning I choose to open myself more fully than I ever have and let love have its way with me. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. Thank you, Spirit. All is well. And I thank each and every one of you this morning. Let me adjust my love glasses. Don't forget, you have to adjust them sometimes. All right? Have fun with yourself. Go out on a date. Take yourself for a walk. Love yourself up with every breath you breathe. And then spread the love seeds and the love magic everywhere you go. I already knew I was a magic genie. Somebody told me that before, because we're all magical. But now I'm claiming the love genie this morning. Thank you all so much.